So welcome back to Sorare Wakey Academy. We're into our next video, and this one is all about FC Andorra, who play in the Segunda division in Spain, Spain's second division basically. And just in the introduction there, was just a quick introduction, a couple of players that we're going to be looking at as well. But today we're looking at Andorra. We're going to look at the history of them, the stadium where they have played and where they play now. We'll look at the crest and the shirt, the different colours they have. If they've got any honours, and where they are now, what league they're playing in, and then we'll get onto the current squad and the build-up of the team basically, and we'll have a look at a few players there that I've picked out. You've seen them already on the start of the video. So if you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and like the channel, and we'll kick on now looking at the Wikipedia here, and then we'll go and have a look at the pitch as well. We'll go down on Google Earth and have a look at the pitch. But football club Andorra then, professional-based club based in Andorra. It's a really tiny country, if you didn't know that already. And as I said, in the Spanish league, they've been formed since 1942, and it plays its current games at the Estadi Nacional, which is a national stadium in Andorra, I believe. It's a bit hard because I've had like 3 stadiums that they mentioned this, so we'll come to that after. So it is a micro state, Andorra, and they're voluntarily affiliated to the Catalan Football Federation. It's been allowed to compete in the Spanish leagues, basically. Now you see the badge here, that's changed a little bit as well. It used to have a different badge to that, but it's quite nice. Now it looks like a bit of an arrow, doesn't it, coming up? And it's got the Andorra colours around there, the blue, the red and the yellow. But it is the biggest club in the country. I think it's the only club probably in the country. Just a few others that aren't professional. It's founded, as we say, 1942. I'll leave you to read down a little bit of this because you can see that they were in the Segunda Division B, which is like the 3rd level of Spanish football, where they were for absolutely ages. It breaks it down a bit more afterwards then. But they have had some good history in the past with the Copa Catalunya, where they eliminated Barcelona in the semi-finals, defeated Espanyol in the final. So some good teams that they've beaten there. Not a massive history, but the club itself, the Andorran club, was bought in 2018 by Gerard Piqué's Cosmos Holding Group. So Piqué, I believe, is the owner, or at least his group is the owner. And so they've now moved up to the 2nd division then in Spain. Now the stadium that they play at is a fun bit which I was trying to get out to see where they are playing at the moment then. But you see here the Andorra La Vella is where they started. They used to host their matches there before relocating in 1983. So let's have a look at this one then, where they started. Andorra de la Vella. So we'll just put this in on Google Earth. And this is, let me zoom out a little bit first, because you'll see Andorra is tiny, isn't it? So just so you get an idea of where it is on the map. You see France there, it's just below France, northern Spain basically. And if we zoom in, let's find this Andorra de la Vella. This is one of the grounds, and this is where they started, like I say. Look how small this is, this country. Now you'll see here then, this is the actual ground here. I think it's this one here. It's a national one. Where was the other one? There's 2 of them. I think it's just here. So this was the Andorra de la Vella where they used to play. Now it's not a massive ground, is it? And you'll see there's nobody sort of hanging around the outside. But we can go into the middle of the pitch and have a look at this. I think it'll let us. Got a little practice pitch at the side there. But, I mean, it's a lovely view. Don't get me wrong, a lovely view here. But the pitch, as you'll see, is tiny. I don't know if that's a clubhouse, a changing rooms. Not many fans are going to be here, is there? Really bad condition of the pitch as well. It's basic, isn't it? So that's where they used to play, and then they moved over to this new stadium, which is the actual national stadium of Andorra. And again, you'll see how small this is. I've moved on to Google Earth, and you'll see here. So the first one they were playing in was the running track one over here. But then if we zoom in here to this place, and again, I mean, this is a national stadium. And there's not a lot here. You can see just looking around. I mean, this is a massive building here, but there's not a lot. And if we look at let's have a look at 3D. Can we see it this way? Not much more to see that way, is it? But if we go and have a look on the actual pitch itself, which I think we can go on the stadium here, because we go indoors if we click on that middle of the pitch. So if we stand on the stadium and have a look down at it, I mean, this is the outside. So if you're a fan here, this is where you're going to be standing, in this flat area here, and a couple of seats in front. Now I believe this is AstroTurf. It looks really nice, isn't it? Nice design here. But, you know, that's like a non-league team that we're playing here, so they don't get many fans, do they? I think they said something like 3,000, but I can't see 3,000 fitting in there. It's not massive, it's not the best of places, but I guess you could have a nice flat up here and look down into the pitch. You know, it's an alright pitch, but only if you like, if you're going to play 5-a-side or 6-a-side across it, maybe. That's what it looked like in England. But anyway, that's the pitches. And as I said earlier, they have changed their club badge, and this is how it used to look, the traditional one when it first came out, when the club was first formed in 1948. And it was the colours of Andorra, basically. And then there's a few more things that were added on there that you can read through in your own time now looking at this. We also see that the shirts, and they started off with the red shirt, looking at the original badge. This is the red shirt that they had. Then they moved on to the Andorran colours, and they've had a few strange kits here then. Blue, yellow and red, different coloured shorts. And now they're playing this sort of, I don't know what you'd call this, is like a rainbowy type kit, isn't it? Not the most flattering of kits at all. And then we have a look at the honours, and there's a couple of champions and winners of certain cup, as we mentioned earlier, the Cup of Catalunya. But going down, it takes a bit of a while to get used to this, but it's basically all the non-league systems, and I'm sure if there's any people here that follow the Segunda division, you know, and below that, they might understand all of these here. But it works out as we go along. You can see if we click on them, then you see what it actually says next on there. Segunda Division B was the third tier of Spanish football, so you can sort of go down there. But let's look at the new history, basically. From 2003 going down here, you'll see eventually, I mean, what are these ones here? Companion National, so Segunda Division, La Liga 2 is what they're in now, 22-23. But the one before that, and I think it was Division 3, so yeah, the third tier again. So they've not had, you know, a great history as such. They've been in for quite a while, and they've built their way up, and eventually now, as I said, they're now in the second division and looking quite good. They've not done bad this season, which we'll have a look at right now. So here we are back on Sorare Data, for if any of you don't know what this screen is. Sorare Data I use so many times each day. Perfect for looking at stuff. But here you'll also see the league then. They played 41 games now. They're currently in 9th position. They can maybe go another couple of places up, and they could drop maybe a couple of places as well. But you know, it's a nice, decent season. 15 wins, 11 draws, 15 defeats. Hit 43 and only conceded 34. That's not too bad. +9 for their goal difference then. But they're well clear, and they're going to be in the same division again next season. So they should keep, some of their players I would have thought will keep. A few of them are on loan, but we picked out a few at the start of the game, if you remember. Now the goalkeeper situation is really interesting. I'm just going to have a look at the roster for you, because if we look at the goalkeepers, somebody asked, can you sort out the goalkeepers, because we don't know what's going on with them. But it seems like they've all played. I think Ratti is probably like I'd say the best keeper. But then Vidal's come in, and so has Lizoin. But Nico Ratti, I think, is probably one of the best players, goalkeeper-wise. We'll have a look at his scores down here then. Have a look at his overall scores. And he's been decent, hasn't he? When he has played, he has been good. But then he's sort of dropping. He sort of plays 5 games, or misses 5, then plays 10, misses 5, plays 10. That's how it seems to have gone with these. And we don't know why they keep swapping all these goalkeepers over. That's Ratti. And then we've got Vidal, who's had a few games as well. Don't know what that's doing there. Vidal's had quite a few games as well. So, looking at him, well, yeah, he's not quite had loads, but he has played recently, but then dropped again. So, it's just a bit strange what they're doing. Let's get rid of Vidal, and let's have a look at this next one then, Raul Lizain. Good decent scores then for his L5. And, you know, an average key, it's only £1 for God's sake. Really cheap. We'll have a look at his scores then, and you'll see here he's played even less. He played a lot of games, then went out, whilst the other two keepers came in, played a game, then missed game on as a sub, missed a game, played a game, missed 3 games. So out of all them, I would think, the number one, I think, is going to be this Ratty guy. He seems to be the best keeper out of them all. Now, defenders that stand out then, I quite like Diego Pampin, and I quite like Mika Marmol. I think a lot of you will be familiar with Marmol. Did he play for, was it Madrid or Barcelona that he started with? Yeah, good player. Well-known name for a lot of people, because a lot of people have this guy. I've got him myself. It says I haven't got one there, but I'm sure I have, or I did. I might have sold him again. Last 5 of 63, the last 15 of 63, and the last 40 of 57. That's a decent player playing in Andorra in La Liga Smartbank, Division 2, Spanish football. And he's only like £7 to £8 you're getting for. Really good player. And if we look down here at his scores then, I'll just have a check of his teams. And yes, he was at Barcelona once. Did he play? Played 1 game looking at that. That's his all time. So yeah, 1 game he played for them. As came as a substitute against Thay for 1 minute. That's all he played. So going back to his overall now and all teams, you see he plays really well for these, and he's hitting the 90s, a few 80s and 70s. Really good. Good centre back. Plays nearly every single game. Just 1 game that he missed there. Pity they couldn't do that with the goalkeepers as well. So that's Mika Marmol. But then we also have a look at, I wanted to have a look at Diego Pampin. Now, a few weeks ago I didn't know any of these names, so I am sort of getting used to him. He's only £1. And the last 5 of 51, the last 15 of 53, where's he played? Left back, is it? He seems to be in that left back position then. Has he played every game? It looks like he's playing every single game. Oh no, he's sub there. The last 2 games he's been sub. I'll shut up, shall I? But yeah, before that, played at left back, left back, left back. A couple of games as sub. But it looks like he gets most of the games. Not massive scores, but I think he's one of the better defenders there. Looking down a few of the more other players in this, Alex Pajaraman, who's down as a substitute. I mean, Pampin's down as reserve. Now, in fact, most of them down as reserves, aren't they? Adria Villanova stands out a bit just because of his greens that he's got there. But, he's 73 pence, 59 pence floor price was that. Yeah, 59 pence floor price, so he's not fantastic. But it is the end of the season, so the prices will go down, I guess. Danny Moore, a reserve. Alex Vel, who's 19, but doesn't seem that great, does he? So not loads of fantastic players there. Midfielders, and one that stands out, Mark Aguado. Now, he was on the front cover when I introduced the video. He's got some decent scores coming up there. He's £1.90. Let's have a look at his scores overall then, since he's been here. Now, what teams has he been at? And just Andorra. So, he looks alright, doesn't he? A few 70s up there. Suffering just recently. So I wonder if they were dropping players because they were safe and they were just giving people games or something. Maybe that's why they're changing so many players all the time. Or they're just that knackered and not fit that they can't play all the games in a row. But he looks decent, doesn't he? We've also got Ruben Bother. Now, I think he's the captain. From what I remember, central midfielder. We'll have a look again at what teams he's played for, because a lot of these just seem to have been Andorra only. We'll have a look at his overall. It changed though, so he's still Andorra. So he gets some decent scores, a 98 up there and a few 70s. But yeah, he's again dropped for quite a while there, wasn't he? Sub for quite a while, so he's not really established in this team as of yet. But I'm sure he's the captain. But that's Ruben Bother, and he's 73 pence floor price, so not good. A few more to look at here than Hector Havel, Jandro Orlana, and Sergio Molina. They all again are sort of dipping in and out of the team. Well, that's how it would seem to be. The forwards then, German Valera. He's only 21, so this could be like the big up and coming player. And he's £4, so whoa, which is like 4 times better than what we've seen so far. 54 for his last 5, 48 for his last 15. Like I say, under £5. Let's have a look at his games then, his SO5 games. And we'll have a look at his overall scores. Has he played for anyone else then? Oh, he's played for a few clubs, hasn't he? Atletico Madrid been there. Did he play for them? No. Has he played for Sociedad? A couple of games as sub. and then Real Sociedad's second team is where he sort of got noticed and then got picked up by Andorra. So you can see they're not a massive club, are they? They can't attract that many big players. And this guy's sort of one of the better ones coming up and through. Still quite young, but getting a lot of game time. It's not too bad. Not a lot of goals being scored there by a striker. So, yeah, that's the next best player. Now, other than that, there's not... Now, looking at these, they're all pretty poor scores and they're all cheap. 50's under £1 for all of them. And we get to Sinan Bakis, who's another one that I had at the start of the video. He's a striker. Is this the Turkish guy? Yeah, he's from Turkey. 49 for his last 5. It's just under £1. Floor price is just over £1. Let's look at his scores, and this might be interesting. Has he played for anybody else as well? He's got some big scores here, hasn't he? But yeah, he's played for Heracles as well, and did play a lot of time for them, didn't he? Looking at his Andorra scores only, yeah, he's not too bad. He doesn't really hit massive highs. I mean, Andorra doesn't seem to have the players. You know, if you're doing SO5, they don't seem to have that many great players that you could really pick a good SO5 team from. But we will have an overall look at them then. We're looking at the last 15 games now, so you see in all competitions, Mika Marmol is the top player there, and Ratti the goalkeeper in second, Marco Guado third, Pampin's actually in fourth there, and then Ruben Bova. Now, all around scores, that's pretty decent from Marmol. He's a good player, this one. Marco Guado also 23 for his AA. Pampin and Pasta, Valera. Yeah, I mean, top net decisives only 5 from Ratti, the goalkeeper, with 5 decisives. And then Ruben Bova, Bakassi, the striker, with only 4. The top minutes played then are by Marmol. And then Valera. This is quite important, to be honest. I mean, Pampin plays a lot of the games looking at this, but it's gotten down as a reserve. And Aguado's in there as well, and Bakis also. Top goal scorer then are Bakis with only 4, so they're not a big goal scoring team. They don't concede many either. Top assist, Ruben Bova. This is in the last 15 games, so only 2 assists from him. Only 4 goals was the top. Penalty kicks is Martinez and Bakis. And free kick scorers, they haven't scored any, but Bakis and Bova take them. Free kick assists from Hevel one. Got one there. And then corner takers, mostly Ivan Gil, who's also down as a sub, and Hevel. So, overall, I don't know how they managed to get 9th, because they look absolutely poor, don't they? Now, they always play this, looking at the formation, they always seem to play 4-3-3, I think it is, all the way down. Yeah, you'll see down here, and 4-3-3 all the way. They don't seem to change. Oh, there's one, a 4-4-1-1, and then a 3-5-2. But they were losing all them games. Change the formation to 4-3-3, and they've started to draw a lot and win a lot. So it seems to be working for them. Miranda's beaten there, but they're a decent side, Miranda's. The thing, I mean, we can look down the stats here, and you'll see Marmol the best minutes played then. Top goal scorer is Bakis, assists is Bova. You've just seen all of this. Yellow cards, or anyone that gets a lot of cards. 2 reds there, 3 yellows for Valera. Nah, not really. But 8 clean sheets then. And looking at the goalkeepers, maybe the defenders here, but Valera, Marmol has 8, 7 for Pampin. Yeah, I mean, this is decent. Double doubles then. Marmol with 5, and Aguado as well. So they're the 2 standout players to me at the moment. Are there any triple doubles? Patroman, triple triples at Aguado. So yeah, they don't seem a great side, do they? Best player is Mika Marmol by a mile. Looking at this, and will he be there next season? Is he on loan? I don't think he'll be there next season. But that is FC Andorra, and from the Smartbank, as we say, you can see where they are in that league, and hopefully next season they can do decent again, and maybe try and beat up that league. Try and push up a little bit as teams go up. These high teams up here that have done okay this year. And of course, the teams at the bottom who are going down, they've managed to escape all of that. And they've come above some good teams in Zaragoza, Legaña, Tenerife. They've come above all of them. So, decent side, they've done alright, but the players don't seem to be that decent, and it's a small club. So that is them. If you like that and you want to see a bit more of that, then let me know in the comments below. If you think there's a standout player that I've missed as well, again, let me know. Let me have a look at them and look a bit more deeper into them. And if you've got any Andorra players, also let me know in the comments below. But other than that, If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe now. Hit that like button, get the channel going so we can do a few more of these, or a few more of the SL5 teams. If you like the SL5 teams that we're doing at the moment, picking an SL5 team, showing how much they cost. It's normally, picking a stack, seeing how much they cost and how well they do. But other than that, we'll see you next time. Thank you.